Hello and welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and today we have another installation in our tips and tricks series, this time detailing Sigma, the robotic overlord. So in this I'm going to be talking about his specials, his supers, some other nicks and knacks. I'm going to go into some special mentions in Arc Divide because that's easily his best move. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Now, going into his special moves, the first thing I actually want to talk about is Command Normal Forward Fierce Punch, this guy right here. So it's a projectile. It does have a weird amount of durability in that, say we're going to use Iron Man here, we're going to beam. See there? I don't even know how to explain that. It just kind of hits even when you get hit. There's a bit of wonkiness there, but it all works in Sigma's favor, so don't look a gift horse in the mouth, I guess. But yeah, it's fantastic for full screen confirms because you can use that into his Arc Divides.
No escape!
And you gotta be a little closer, so not complete a full screen, maybe like 90% screen. And see here, we can get a combo from that far away. And if I was a smidge quicker, there we go. We can even get that to connect and go for a combo from there. So this is a great tool. It's very fast. It can hit at really awkward angles that, like you saw there, Iron Man just kind of beat me clean to the rights, and yet I still managed to get the move off for some reason. So it's just, I don't know, I can't really say much more than it's fantastic. It's the cornerstone of his long-range offense. It really supplements the Arc Divides, the far ones. Because, like, yeah, you can use them raw, but they're not quite as quick as this. So just having that out there, unless, you know, your foe is going to be very jumpy, then, you know, by all means go into Arc Divides to cover the screen that way. But it's just a really unique tool that supplements his very long-range offense. And it's fantastic. Can't really say much more than that. Now, to speak on the straight divide, that's a quarter circle back in either Light Punch or Fierce Punch. So the Light Punch goes up, and Fierce Punch goes across. And if you do it in the air, the Light Punch goes downwards, and Fierce Punch still goes across. So one thing about it, it does have armor. It does not start on frame 1 or nothing. So you see here, it needs to get a bit ahead of a projectile. So if we wait too long, we're going to get smacked, as you can see there. So no armor on frame 1 or anything, but it is armored. So if you know someone's just going to like Reality Stone, or Beam, or whatever have you all day, feel free to charge in, and, you know, worst penalty if it gets blocked, you can tag out, so that's fine. But there's a lot of reward in just tossing out someone who's very Reality Stone happy, because, you know, I'm sure if you played online, there's a lot of Reality Stone happy people you've seen out there. So that can really throw them for a loop with the fact that it has the armor. So besides the armored fact, it's basically your prime combo extender and finisher. Most combos, and I do have a companion combo video guide here, you want to do something, hit, launch them up, and then you can either spike them down, relaunch them up, and get a wall bounce with the Fierce Punch version, or what have you. It doesn't really matter, but you'll generally be using both of them. Either the launch downwards or upwards version for Light Punch, and then the wall bounce is a finisher or near finisher for your combo. And even something as simple as like this, you can just go do the Light Punch version, get in the air, hit Fierce Punch, and then go right into the Heavy Punch version. So even something as simple as that, see here, that still works. This combo structure is very simple, and, you know, that definitely works in his favor because simple is always better than complex. Now, for the Reflector Magnum, that's quarter circle back in either 2 kicks. All I can really say is, you know, each kick's a different angle, and that's about it. Honestly, I don't find too much worth in this move. If you're going to be spending time filling the screen with garbage, definitely be filling the screen with garbage with Arc Divides, that's way better at it, you know? Or at the very least, tossing out your eyeball laser. It is neat, you know, visually, but I can't find much use for it gameplay-wise. Because, like I said, if you want to be zoning, you definitely want to be zoning with this guy instead. If you do know a use for it, please tell me in the comments, because I'd love to know it. Because that stands, like, the durability is nothing special either. Like, you know, a lot of beams will just beat it clean. Like, it ain't nothing special in that regard either. So if you know something, please tell me. I'd love to be enlightened, but as it stands, I don't find much use for this move, sadly. As for Mirage Claw, the command throw, that's a down, Light Punch or Fierce Punch. Just a quick reminder, the Light Punch version, unless you like Plank Tag, you're not really going to get anything, and you probably need a faster partner to get much off of it. And it's not worth too much. You can combo off the Fierce Punch one, however. It's nothing too special here. You're not going to get a whole walk of damage. But the fact that you have any command throw rather is much better than not having one at all. Especially, you know, with the fact I'll go into Arc Divide, that thing is very silly and keeps the pressure up, so having command grabs is an easy way to open people up afterwards. So with that said, it's nothing much on its own. Like, it's not one of the better ones, I would say, especially because it switches sides. You don't really have much of a choice in that, so if you have the foe cornered, you're going to corner yourself. But it's always a great can opener tool. It's always better to have a command throw than not. Now, for the counter move, that is down, one either of the kicks. You see here, heavy kick has a bit of a longer duration. Now, I did make a video guide about this actually a bit earlier when the DLC came out, but just long story short, the move counters any physical attack, and if it's a physical attack,
Come and get me.
it'll teleport and bop you in the head. And if it's a traditional projectile, it will reflect it. If like any projectile is reflectable by push block, it will reflect it. And if the projectile is not reflectable, like say Gamora's guns, then it'll also be the teleport like a physical attack. Now as for the physical attack, let's turn off guard here. So he can't really follow up much by himself other than he can do a super. But other than that, it's you definitely want to tag in your partner, and your partner can absolutely get a full combo after it. Now, for his super attacks, they are honestly fairly straightforward in what they do. So the Doombuster here, that's fireball with punches. It's not much special in and of itself. It does cause a wall bounce, so that is something. It's fairly solid if you just want to, if you're feeling pressured, you can just do it, tag out. And at least, you know, that'll cover your approach. That's something. Its most use, as far as I can tell and have found out during my course playing them, is if you're willing to burn 2 bars in a combo, then that's kind of a go-to because that won't end the combo. But other than that, that's kind of it. And now another one that's probably the least impressive of his 4 supers is Blazing Line. Now this is kind of the ultimate just do it, tag out kind of thing. It's not really comboable into because it always starts at the end of the screen facing away from your foe. So it does fill the screen with garbage, so that's always a very positive thing to tag into, and it does cause the launch. So if you account for it and it does hit, and you're on the ball enough, your partner can get a follow-up. Now for Rave Divide, the Sword Super. This is your go-to combo ender. Nothing really much more than that. It's the most damaging level 1 you have. And as a bonus, it's also a level 1 even at the end of a combo. It's very difficult for the foe to fall out of the combo afterwards. So you can tag in your partner and kind of just go ham, and it's just free damage at that point. The level 3, nothing much to say for it. Like, it's obviously the most damaging move, all that. It's invincible, like pretty much every level 3. The range is very short, as you see here. Nothing too special about that. But it's very easy to combo into it directly from any combo. Like, no matter what the finisher, if you can get the level 1 sword, you can absolutely get the level 3 every time. Arc Divide is Sigma's best move by quite a bit, and it's absolutely the reason to play him. So it comes in 4 versions, and that's simply 1 for each button of attack. So Light Punch, Fierce Punch, Light Kick, Fierce Kick. Now you see here, there's quite a bit of range for it, and especially the bonus here is, I see here the little dimensional rift lingers. So that is an active hitbox that the foe can absolutely run to well after you, for lack of a better term, cast it out there. So on top of that, you can start with any of the 4 buttons, it doesn't matter, but only the kick buttons have follow-ups. So you can go, say, Light Punch, follow up with Light Kick, or same thing, but follow up with Heavy Kick. The Light Kick's always above, and the Heavy Kick's always on the same level horizontally. So just also quick note here, if you're in the corner, the kick versions aren't really going to connect, because the rift is now off the screen. So if you've got a combo using the kick versions, make sure you're going into the corner or not in the corner at all, because it will whiff in the corner, unless your spacing is very specific and you manage to push yourself out a bit far away. But yeah, you can absolutely just, every time you hit any of the 4 buttons, you are allowed to kick follow-up, so all you have to do is just hit kick, the kick you choose. And you'll have a second rift show up. So, as we mentioned earlier with the little eye laser there, so say we do Fierce Kick and do Fierce Kick. And once again, just a note, if you do the kick versions, the button press will be the other one you didn't press, even if it's the same button. So we do this, and we get a little combo there. And you are allowed to cancel into any special move when you see that dimensional rift show up. So I do this, I can immediately go into my charge. Like, I'm not 100% recovered yet, but as soon as that rift shows up, you are allowed to go into any special move. So that's what makes something like this possible. And you can get a full combo from there, even from so far away. Now, the best thing about this is that they are all plus on block. So what we're going to do here, we're going to set our dummy to block. So we have set the all guard, so it's obviously blocking, right? And here's a simple old school test from back in the day, the determined frame data that I'm going to pass on to you. So we do the move, pause. Now we're going to have the bot set to jump, so it's going to jump on the first possible frame. And see here, we started our jump way before the enemy did, which means we were at frame advantage, we recovered quicker, so we're able to start our jump first. It's an old school test to figure out frame data. So with that known, and every time they block that, it's still your turn. Like, yeah, if they're in the corner, you know, as you can see here, you obviously get pushed out. That's a defensive mechanism there. But if we just do this, and just do it again, odds are anything they're going to stick out unless it's invincible is going to get beat. And obviously, you know, the more you do it, the further you're going to get pushed out, so you can't just infinitely repeat it. But that's where the real greasy stuff happens. So you do this, and you can say, you know, just do it again, or you can do it, maybe dash in, go for command grab, or just do it, lock them in place, tag in your partner, and then go for a high-low mix-up. There's all sorts of things. So frame advantage is always the big starter of mix-up based offense, and Marvel being the game, it is obviously very mix-up based. So this, once they block the first one, keep in mind it's still your turn, and they just have to groove on whatever you plan for them next. Now, one thing I want to show off here is he can force a grounded reset into a force block situation pretty much off any given combo. So say we're just going to do the bog standard B&B here. So we're going to end it with that forward laser instead of going for a super. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to have it set to aerial recovery, trying to air recover out of it. So you see here, even with air recovery on, you still can't get much ground. You can't go over Sigma's head. You can't escape out of the corner. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that as a basis of our knowledge to force them to wake up into Arc Divide, and then once they're in the Arc Divide, as I mentioned before, you are obviously plus on block, and we're just going to go from there. So you see there, that is an up-forward aerial recovery, and they still have to land in the Arc Divide. So from there, you can just, you know, hit whatever buttons, try whatever you want, or tag in your partner if they're a little more mix-up capable than Sigma is. Monster Hunter is probably not a good example, but from there, you can solo, without any setups, any tag, any help from a partner, force people to wake up into a blocking situation, and that's pretty fantastic. That's definitely something, if you're not willing to burn the bar, or if you feel the extra damage isn't worth it at the point in the game, and the setup into a forced block is better, absolutely go for it. And that brings us to the end of our video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this video found you well. And before we go, I'll leave you something very silly. If you're a fan of Doctor Doom and the older Marvel games, Marvel 3 specifically, Sigma is the inheritor, I guess you could say, of the old foot dive. Not anywhere near as useful, just looks similar, nothing else, but I found it kind of funny. Anyways, thank you very much. Go out and play some Marvel.